me, gets in trouble also from the teachers. And the teachers are like, well, you were nearby, and so you were one of them, and you didn't come into the teacher, and you didn't say anything, so you're blah, 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 and you're in trouble too. You know, when they get that way, you don't want to be nearby. Get yourself out of there. Tell the bullying person to stop it. If you feel comfortable, if you felt comfortable, it's okay to go over to the bullying person and say, oh man, leave him alone. Come on, knock it off. We don't need to mess with him. Come on, let's go do something else. Let's go play basketball. All right? You might separate the bullying kid away from the person being bullied. So let's say Steve is the bully, and he's bullying this person over here. I might come over. I like Steve. Steve's actually my buddy. I don't like that he's bullying. I might say, come on, Steve, let's get out of here. Let's go play some basketball. Let's not waste our time here. All right? So he's my friend. I just don't like that he's bullying. I got him away, and I didn't make a whole big deal out of it. It wasn't like, Steve, there's no bullying here at Bullies School. Don't do that. Just get them away. Another thing I can do, come on back here, Steve, is let's say Steve is the bully. He's bullying this person. I don't feel comfortable separating the bullying person away. I might come over and say, come on, man, come on, man. Come on, let's get out of here. And we might go off together.
Yeah, walk away.
All right. And by the way, the bully often will say something. You know, they'll say, wham, you know, baby, you know, tattletale, what do you need your friend to take care of you? Expect it. Expect it. Thank you very much. Excellent. Good job. Upper. All right. Report to a trusted adult. Without mentioning names, have some of you discovered that there are adults in this building who you think are pretty cool, who you actually like, and you feel comfortable coming to? Good. Have you noticed that there are some cooler people, and then there's some people who's like, well, I'm not as comfortable going over to them. You know, I'm not sure if I could trust them. Has anybody ever had that?
No name.
No name. Go to the trusted adult. Go to that cool adult. That adult who you feel comfortable with. And by the way, it might be different from person to person, who you feel is cool. And you might go over and say, you might want to go over and check out what's happening at the basketball court. Or you might say, there's somebody doing something in the girls' bathroom. You might want to go in there. You don't have to give names. You don't have to give details. You just go over to that trusted adult and you say, there's something going on there. Have you ever had this where you went over to a trusted adult and you had something important to say, and they didn't listen to you? They were too busy. They just kind of blew you off and, you know, didn't listen. Happens to me. Happened to me. Yep. If you go over to a trusted adult, and this is the cool adult, and they don't listen to you, you know what you have to do? You have to go to another cool adult. You have to find another trusted adult that you can go to. And you might have to go to 2 or 3 adults, because sometimes these adult people, they get busy with other stuff. So you might go over to someone else. All right, you ready to play a game with me?
Yeah.
All right, here's what I want you to do. Do you see how you're kind of next to somebody?
Yeah.
All right, what I would like you to do is just turn over to the person next to you, say hello. All right. Okay. Wow. All right, just about everybody's quiet. I see those 6th graders quieted down real quick. 5th graders are just about all quiet now. Just waiting for a couple of 4th graders. Excellent. All right, here's what you're going to do. With those people that are around you, I want you to make a pair. A pair is 2. So you're going to be a pair, and you're going to discuss the following situation. All right? Just waiting for everyone to quiet down to get paired off. Here's what you're going to do. You ready? I'm going to put something on the screen, and you're going to have to say what you would do if you were that bystander. You were in that crowd. So you're going to take like a minute or 2 to talk, and then your partner is going to take a minute or 2 to talk. We want to solve the problem. Remember those suggestions that are up here? You can use these suggestions. You can come up with your own suggestion, but we want to solve the problem. So
don't make matters worse.
That's
the one thing.
We want to make it better. We want to make it better. So here is the problem. Uh-oh. After school, kids take turns kicking the same kid in the behind over and over and over again. What do you do? Please take a minute and discuss it with your parents here above. All right. So, the situation is after school, kids take turns kicking the same kid in the behind over and over again. Would we agree that this sounds like some physical bullying? Somebody's weaker, or a group of people are weaker, somebody's stronger? So, we want to make this situation better. We don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to get ourselves hurt. What are we going to do? So I'm asking opinions. If I don't understand something, I may ask you questions about it just to hear your thoughts. Would you go? So you would use your words. You'd go over and say, hey, knock that off. Stop kicking that kid. So you'd feel comfortable actually going over to the people. Excellent. He felt comfortable going over to the people who were doing the kicking. That would be a good choice for him. Let's hear what somebody else might do in this situation. Straight ahead, the girl in blue. That's him.
I'd watch it to make sure if anybody really gets hurt or anything, and if it's just a little kick and nudge and they're all doing it, and you're gonna put something and I just watch it and be like, okay, that's that.
Okay, so there's a couple of things I heard there. I'm going to make sure I got it right. You might watch this situation for a while and see, is this bullying or is this kids just monkeying around with each other? Because sometimes, quite honestly, you ever see people play fight and wrestle with their friends? Sometimes they even kick each other in the behind. I don't quite get that. All right. Now, let me get from a couple of other people. How about you right over there? Yes, you. Yes.
My brother, our best friend, we get him out of there. What if it was just a friend, he really don't problem?
Interesting, very interesting. I've heard this answer before. If this was somebody who I was close to, like a really close friend, or if this was my brother or my sister, I might go over and get them out of there. But if they were just somebody who I'm not that close with, I might not intervene. I would like it if people did go to a trusted adult or did something to help out, but I really respect the fact that you know that's really what you would do. There's honesty there. I'm going to take one or two more, and then maybe we'll play with a couple of more. We'll see if we can get more in. How about you?
What I do is I go over to one of my friends and I say and try if depending on what it was, I didn't have guts enough to go talk to him and see if my friend.
You know, there's an interesting thing there. She said that if she didn't feel like she had enough guts, she might ask a friend, go over in there and say something. Here's what I like to do, which is a little like that. Sometimes I'm a little scared to go over to somebody and tell them not to kick somebody in the behind. I don't know, maybe they're going to start kicking me. So I might go over with a couple of friends. We're not going over to fight. But if a couple of us go over, I'm scared to go over by myself, he's scared to go over by himself. But if we go over together, it kind of gives us a little strength together. And we might go over together and say, hey, come on, knock that off. And we feel safer because we're with friends. That sometimes happens to people.
I think it's important to remember, I'm looking at where it says kids take turns kicking the same kid over again. And that's what gives me the clue, like, hey, wait a second. There's a bullying situation going on. And you start thinking that person who can't stand up for themselves, they can't fight back, that's why they keep getting kicked in the butt, they probably need some type of help. So when I'm hearing that and looking at the situation, thinking about how serious it is, and then taking an action to help, personally, I think that's cool.
All right, we're going to go on to another situation. Again, this is going to be where you will take a minute and think about what you would do, say it to the other person, and they're going to say back to you what they would do. Remember, we want to make this situation better. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want the other kids to get hurt. So keep that in mind. We're going to go to a different type of bullying. Ready? Watch the screen. At your lunch table, someone tells Sarah she can't sit at the lunch table anymore. Whenever Sarah comes to the table, everyone spreads their arms and legs so there's no room for her. No room at the table. There's really room over here, but we're just doing it. See, there's no room.
Sorry.
Somebody at the table says Sarah can't sit there. wants everybody to spread their arms and legs. You're at that lunch table. What do you do?
Talk amongst his friends first.
Talk to your friends. Talk to the person who your parents share.
Woo! That sounds good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on, put your hands out for just a second. Do you want to discuss this? I'm going to ask to be fair and respectful. So if Mike called on you before to answer the question from the last slide, please don't raise your hand. That way we can give other people an opportunity. Thank you very much. And I'll start with that lady in the back. Yes, ma'am. Oh, speak a little louder, please. Okay, so in this situation, you're at the lunch table, somebody else at the lunch table says that Sarah can't eat with the rest of you, and you spread your arms and legs, or she tries to get you to do that, you would say that you're going to make room for her? You're just going to make room for her. Good. Okay, how about Mr. Blue Shirt in the back? You would move to a different table. Makes sense. Look, if these people aren't treating me nicely, and they're not treating the other people nicely, maybe I don't even want to sit with them. Maybe I would go with Sarah and say, come on, let's go sit somewhere else. That's good. That's good. Mr. Prankster. Reading his shirt.
I wouldn't spread my arms and legs out, but I just don't, you might not want to sit here because then they'll make like your lunch kind of miserable because they'll like it.
Ah.
Interesting.
This gentleman says, that was really good. This gentleman is saying, first of all, I wouldn't spread my arms and legs. Just because somebody else says to do that, you wouldn't do that. But you're saying you would probably tell Sarah, you know, you may not want to sit here because even if they make room for you, they're obviously being mean and not nice to you, so you may not want to sit here anyway. Makes sense to me. Someone close. Yes, ma'am.
I would, if there's any friends at my people, I would ask them to like move their arms over a little bit for Sarah to sit.
Maybe you feel comfortable with some of the other girls or boys at the table and say, hey guys, let's not do that, let's make room for her. Lots of good choices. And one more, Mr. Gentleman in the black shirt.
If I was in Sarah's situation, I'd just make room for myself. I'll just push their arms out of the way.
So you're answering as Sarah, that you as Sarah would say, well, make room for me anyhow and kind of force yourself in there.
That's an interesting thing because, put your hands down for a second, if you're ever in that situation, if you try to get into the table where they're doing that, now if you say, excuse me, there's room, please let me sit here, in a sense, a strong yet respectful way that can work. On the other hand, let's just say you say, hey, move over, there's room enough. All of a sudden, you're the one who gets in trouble,
You ever
not the
notice that at
girls who are
schools?
being mean or the boys who are being mean.
You get in trouble.
So you got to be careful with that one. You're going to get in there, say, excuse me, move over, there is room. There's room for yourself. Okay, raise your hands down. Ladies and gentlemen, I think what we're going to do is I want to tell you one last thing. The
You've
one
been
last
very well
thing is,
behaved, by the way.
by the way, yes, thank you very much. I appreciate not only respectful behavior to me, but to the fellow people sitting next to you in this crowded room here. But you know what? We often think about heroes. Heroes are some people that we really look up to. We honor these people. We put them in the newspaper because we say, you know what? I would like to be like a hero someday. And I think about police officers or firemen or firewomen. And these people, they put themselves in harm's way, not because they don't have any fear. They have a lot of fear, but they know what they're trained for, and they know what they're expected to do. So when I think about a hero, I think about someone who says, I'm going to do the right thing, I'm going to help somebody else, even though it might be something that might be hard for me. Other people might call me a name. Or maybe I'm going to have a little problem with other kids, but I'm still going to do the right thing. If somebody's getting picked on and can't protect themselves, I'm going to be the one who steps up a little bit. If I feel comfortable, I'll get involved and talk to them about it. If I don't, you know what? It's okay to go find an adult who can help out with the situation. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say thank you for a wonderful afternoon. Go be a hero. Good for you.
Thank you for having us.